Hello, beautiful divine souls. Miya StarFire here. I just wanted to come on real quick and talk about, the things we don't talk about, right? When you go through this awakening, you start waking up the darker, harder aspects of it. The things that people don't really want to, record happening or admit it hurts as much as it does, or whatever it may be. Like your bullshit meter, the allergic to bullshit meter that gets so strong it's like uncomfortable and unbearable to be around bullshit or lies. And the fact that your intuition is turned on and starts to get better and better, and then your clairs get turned on and those get better and stronger. And for me, when I first started this awakening process, I knew there was going to be some difficult stuff because I've done a lot of personal work through addictions and recovery, and so I knew it was going to be difficult. But there's something about the spiritual aspect that makes it even stronger. It sometimes is whatever, okay, I can see through that person, I'll just ignore them or move on. But when you have to be around them or their family, and you can sniff out the lies and the bullshit, and they know that, because they know how intuitive or even how turned on your psychic abilities are, because, many times before they've used that to their advantage or disadvantage, but they know. So it's not like they're unaware. That's really hard. If it's someone you love or a parent. I have a parent, the only parent I have left in my life right now, who tries to manipulate me the same way she used to. And she considers herself spiritual, and I used to too. And yeah, she still is too. I mean, we're all human. We all have flaws. I certainly have many flaws. Or like partners, like, I know you're lying. I know there's something else going on. I know it just, the physical discomfort to people trying to manipulate you or lie to you. It's like spirit, now that spirit knows you're online, now spirit knows that, now your spirit guides know that, now that your ancestors know that you're turned on, it's like this physical revulsion that happens. And so that's a little hard to deal with, right? Because it's not just my shit. It's like I'm peeking into other people's shit and calling them out on it. When there's a deniability of honesty, like, it's hard. So that, to me, that's a dark aspect of having your senses turned on and your intuition up 100 degrees, and even some of your clairs turned up. The ability to spot out the bullshit, be allergic to it, have physical issues towards it. The other problem is it's not a problem, it's a thing. It's something that most of us, some of us, maybe not all of us, but I think most of us go through. Your inability to stay stuck in a position, whether it be personal, career, financial, friendship relationships, any position that your spirit does not want to be there in, your inability to just bypass it and numb it and pretend like it's not happening, that ability is no longer there. It's that you start to get like this physical reaction also, like your soul does not want to be here, and you are aware, and the soul is aware, and you're aware of each other, and it's like, no, there's no way of bypassing this. You're supposed to be doing something else. This is supposed to be a different situation. Your soul is like coming through stronger than it ever has. I mean, for me anyways. I could be totally wrong about all of these feelings. I could be overreacting or having a moment, but I don't think so. I feel like when your senses get turned on and your intuition becomes stronger, and then your soul and spirit realizes that your senses are stronger, they push even harder so that you can no longer physically be in these uncomfortable positions. I feel like that's a dark side that I didn't really hear about. You know, I knew that there was stuff I was going to have to look at and things I was going to need to change and do some course corrections, but I was unaware of how uncomfortable being in non-truth is. Not that I want to live my life in non-truth, but you know, there are some situations that you can't, like, I can't control what a parent does around me or in my life. Like, I can't control how that person is. And then my physical reaction to it is very hard to control. I'm not, in no way am I an expert or a master when it comes to any of this shit. No way. I just know what I've gone through. I know what I'm going through. I know that I've been pretty open my entire life, and the older I got, the more open I became. So I would like to sit here and say, you know, oh, their path is theirs, and we've got to let them go through what they're going to go through. Yeah, that's all good and dandy, but sometimes you can't just jump from one situation to another. Sometimes you can't, like, immediately change the things happening around you. I can't change how my parent acts when I know she's trying to manipulate me. It just, man, just these physical reactions to bullshit. It just, and then, you know, there's the whole, like, having to own up for our part, right? I am not able any longer to just pretend like I didn't have some part to play in, say, like, a disagreement, an argument, some bad behavior. You know, I have children. I have a toddler and a teenager, and I'm going through an awakening with the rest of you. So, I mean, a mom having a toddler and a teenager at the same time, that's hard enough. But I, as my soul, decided that I was going to go through this spiritual awakening while also having these, you know, beings to take care of and go through their emotions with them in the healthiest way possible. And while I would like to say that I am the healthiest, best, well-mannered parent with the most patience in the world, that's just simply not true. Sometimes I get exhausted and tired, and I can't, you know, ignore that my teenager has disrespected me for the 10th time today. Sometimes I raise my voice. Sometimes I haven't eaten all day long and it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm still taking care of the garden outside. And my toddler, well, I know she's a toddler, she's bouncing off the walls going crazy. She's eaten 12 times that day, and I'm trying to explain to her that mommy needs to finish and go inside and eat. You know, I'm probably gonna become impatient. I'm human. I'm not perfect. I can't float, you know, above the ground 3 feet with a giant rainbow floating over me. Not yet, anyways. So, and then I have to look at my part. Like, I can no longer just say, you know what, teenager was being a jerk, I'm the parent, I'm right and he's wrong. I can no longer act that way. My body and my spirit and my mind and my soul no longer accept that, because I have to look at my life and the people around me in all aspects. One, because I want to learn how to grow and evolve to the best of my ability, but I also want my children to grow and evolve to the best of their ability. I want them to be able to look at what they've done and own up to it and have a great example for that. So there's that. And then there's having to like look at myself and what I judge others for and why I'm judging them in the first place. And sometimes I can just be so damn confusing. Like, am I judging them because that's what I see in myself that I hate? Or are they just a fucking dick? Like, because sometimes, not all the time, maybe not even most of the time, right? Sometimes that person is just a fucking motherfucker, right? I'm sorry I'm cussing so much. I'm having one of those days. And I've had about 5 cries. And I am a bit tired. But, you know, I'm not always tired and cranky. So I know that this is not just me being tired. I know this is something else. And let's talk about discernment too. Like, I had pretty good discernment, not the best. Like, I'm like 90% of the time, I'm like happy, bubbly, uplifting, a cheerleader, like just naturally. I love to look at people and tell them how beautiful they are or what a great job they're doing. I love to make people feel good or help them to feel good. I love to help people see their highest aspects and their most beautiful qualities. I love doing that because it makes me feel good to make people feel good. And I know that that's something that I want in my life too. I want to be surrounded by people who love me for me. And I usually, most of the time, look past people's downfalls and try to hone in on their good qualities. And in the past, this has not served me well. I tell you, it has not served me well to continue to like weed out this manipulative, this lie, this drug abuse, this past relationship that keeps coming up, whatever it may be. This, you know, I always try to weed out the bad and try to hone in on the good. And in the past, it's not done me well because it's gotten me taken advantage of many times. Many times. But that's okay. That was my path to go down. Those were my lessons to learn. It's made me stronger and a better discerning person. So anyway, I always try to look at people's goodness because that's how I see humanity. I see humanity as mostly good, doing the fucking best they can, right? I feel like we're all here trying to just do the best we can. So I heard the word discernment when I first started waking up. And I, you know, obviously if this person is fake as fuck and they talk shit about everyone, stay away from them. I didn't realize that coming into this community, which I should have, because I should have realized that there was infiltration of dark and negative people everywhere. I should have realized that. But I didn't realize that people were speaking about spirituality and love and self-empowerment and togetherness. I didn't for a second really think at first. I didn't for a second think that I needed to have full sparked on discernment about these people speaking these lovely things. Like, this person sounds amazing and they look so healthy and beautiful and they look like they say they're in a super healthy relationship and, you know, it all looks like rainbows and butterflies over here, right? So I'm soaking in everything I can soak in, all the books, all the videos, all the knowledge, anything spiritual. I'm just gobbling it up, right? Just eating it all up until I start to slowly go, ooh, that was weird. This dude over here just brought up something about having issues with wanting to have sex with too many people. And he's married. And I know he's married because he just 10 minutes before that talked about his wife. okay, I'm not going to follow this person. And, ooh, this person just, like, showed some weird bravado, like, ego thing that had some kind of, it was just like a spark in the eye that made me go, ooh, that doesn't seem right. I slowly started to learn that, oh, okay. All right, so in this spiritual community, there are going to be complete shitheads and dickheads and manipulative, lying fools. And, you know, I'm not talking about just men. I'm just bringing up men as an example. There are women that are just doing what they do and selling what they sell to sell something, not because they actually want to help. It took me a minute to figure that out. And then it was kind of like never meet your heroes kind of theory. Like, not that I met these people, but once that red flag had popped up, it was like, ooh, shit. This fucking sucks, man. I thought this was a safe space. So, you know, it's taught me how to weed out the misguided or ego-centered, or, you know, just not for me. Not for me. It's taught me that. So I obviously needed to learn that, because one of my flaws is always trying to look for the good in people, even when they show me the bad. So luckily, because of what I've been through in my past, I was able to, once I had that red flag pop up, go, okay, there's so much information out here, so many things that I feel guided to learn or read, that, you know, losing my respect for this person isn't gonna change anything, you know. And most of the things I've learned have come from the inside anyways. Like, I got inspired by people that I would listen to or read from, but most of the things that I have learned have come from the inside. Most of the big things, the real huge things anyways. So if you're hearing discernment and you feel like, well, I don't really need to worry, well, you do. I mean, humans are human, and even the most spiritually enlightened looking people or sounding people can be coming out of a place that is not really completely from their heart. Do I believe that they're evil or are set out to, you know, steer people in the wrong way? Not really. Not completely. I mean, there might be some, but for the majority, I feel like people get confused as to why they're doing what they're doing. I mean, it's easy. I could see how it's totally, if I wasn't so much of a questioning my own self type person, I could see how ego could get in the way. Like, you know, someone believing that they're the next Jesus or the ultimate authority in whatever, because they get, you know, a bunch of bits of information, or they learn things, or they experience. I could see that being a thing. But, you know, even in the spiritual community, there are some shitheads. And usually I don't really spend too much time dwelling on frustrating things, but I've had like more than a couple days of being frustrated with the world and being frustrated with people and myself, because ultimately I'm giving my power away by getting frustrated at things. And so then I get really fucking pissed off at myself too. And I have to be very careful, because I will beat up on myself way before I do anyone else, and way more than I do to anyone else. I have yeah. Anyways, I'm not going to go too deep. I just needed to get this out there. I needed to talk about some stuff that people don't really talk about. You know, not even me, because I like to focus on the beautiful and the magical and the wonderful and the, you know, the new earth and the golden age. I like to focus on the good and the loving and truly the magic, because there is so much amazing things that can happen, that have happened to me. So many amazing, eye-opening things. But then there's things that you're like, God damn it, that was a fucking lie? Like, what the fuck? I was like guilty as ever my whole life and still have a problem with feeling guilty over some bullshit Bible that wasn't even telling me the whole story, and like made up shit so that people did feel guilty all the time. Like, I literally have a problem feeling guilty. Like, I feel guilty. I constantly still find myself feeling like I'm walking into the goddamn principal's office when I do something that isn't perfectly in line. Like, here's another thing. This is how I know I'm bringing up my children different. Not that my mom did a bad job or my parents did a bad job. They did the very best they could with the knowledge they were given and the parenting they were brought up with. So I will never, ever blame my parents for how I was brought up. I don't blame my grandma. I don't blame great-grandparents. Like, everybody just did the best they could, and they did better than the parents before them because they saw the stuff that they didn't like, right? And I'm sure my kids are going to do better than me because you just keep learning and evolving. Like, nobody's a perfect parent. There's no fucking booklet, and every human soul, or I'm not even going to get into the different kinds of soul. Every soul is different. So you're going to have different personalities for everything. What works for one kid is not going to work for another. So I digress. Sorry. I was in a situation from the minute I was in my mom's womb that was, went through a lot of trauma. And when I came out as a baby, I think I witnessed a lot of trauma. From what my mom tells me, I don't remember. And then was brought up as a young child in the Catholic Church, and my grandmother was a devout Catholic. I mean, the woman got a divorce because she divorced her husband, who was beating the crap out of her and probably would have killed her, fled that marriage pregnant, and then divorced him, but wouldn't take the sacrament ever again because she divorced, and she felt like it was such a sin and she was such a sinner and that she was going to go to hell because of it. So that's what I grew up with when I was young. And so I learned very early to feel guilty about everything. And I don't blame my grandma or my mom or anybody else. Like, they were doing the fucking best they could. And I commend my grandmother for leaving that man pregnant. How fucking scared must she have been back in the 50s? Like, or 40s even. I can't remember. It was the 50s. That was like absolutely unheard of, right? She's a strong fucking woman. She went against the church. She went against her parents. She went against her husband. She went against society and said, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. This man is going to kill me and my kid. And she did what her soul told her to do. So I will always look up to her for that. In no way, shape, or form do I ever look down on my family members for stuff like that, for the past. Or I'm just saying that it was so ingrained in her to feel guilty and ashamed of herself that she didn't feel like she was good enough to take the body of the Christ, which I know now to look at differently. Like, now that I know what they mean, what's actually going down under the guise of all that, it's probably a good thing she didn't. But anyways, I don't know how I got off topic on that. It's pretty late, and like I said, I'm tired, but I had it. What's today? Oh, I was talking about feeling guilty all the time. So I'm not one to look at people in a certain way. I'm more likely to look at myself in a certain way because of how I was brought up. That's something I'm working on. I'm working on not feeling guilty for shit unless I need to feel guilty for it. And I'm also working on being okay if someone doesn't fucking like me. It's okay, because if you don't like me, you aren't meant to be in my life. I'm really starting to be okay with that. Oh, here's another topic. I mean, it gets talked about, but when you're in it, and for the most part, I've been okay with it. But being lonely, this awakening is fucking lonely sometimes. I mean, I have probably three or four, maybe four people I can talk to about this stuff, the experiences I'm having, like the paranormal shit that keeps popping up, because that's another thing for me anyways. The paranormal experiences have been popping off more than they did before. I mean, they were there before, but they were like spurts, like once this year, 3 years later, twice that year, like very spread out spurts. But they pop off all the time. And I know that's because the veil is thinning, but I do believe that when your eye and your eyes start to open up, you see a lot more shit. You see a lot more shit. Because you're aware of it and you're sensitive to it. I've become way more physically sensitive and also visually and audibly sensitive. And I even smell things, phantom smells. I'm like, what the? And then I have to sit here and think about, why am I smelling cigarette smoke down the hallway when no one in my house smokes cigarettes? Oh, Grandpa used to smoke cigarettes. Oh, okay, it's probably Grandpa. Anyways, it's lonely. I have very little people I can talk to, and everyone's lives are so busy, and like, it gets lonely. I can't go to my next, I mean, I probably wouldn't anyways, but let's say my next door neighbor was like super friendly and I felt like and there was someone I could hang out with. I can't go next door and be like, dude, do you know how many ships I saw in the sky tonight? Hey, look, check this out. I captured one I didn't even mean to. Or, oh my God, do you know how many times I saw an orb going through my house? Or, you know, like, this some of the shit you can't share with everybody. Some people still look at you like, what the fuck? Even though it's a more widely accepted, it's still like not that accepted, right? And I can't talk to, you know, friends from my past about, like, you know, doing shadow work, or how I'm figuring out like where my soul is originated from, or about the energy healing work. Like, yes, I can talk to them about Reiki, but I try to explain to them like quantum healing or anything. No, they're not going to be, no, they wouldn't. I mean, unless I'm completely wrong. But then again, I've lost a lot of friends through past mistakes and addictions and growing up and moving away to different states. And, you know, I did a lot of shit to fucking push people away before in the past, which, you know, it happened for a reason. I was a shithead. And then sometimes I go through periods where I'm like, man, ignorance really was bliss. Like, before I knew all that I know now, like, I was a complete selfish dick. man. And the more I grow up, the more I started to wake up, the more I started to go through life, I realized certain things, which I guess everyone's supposed to do that, but man, I was so ignorant, so in the dark, and in my own like serving needs, that it didn't really bother me what people thought about me, or I didn't even think about how someone else is feeling about something, and if I did and it bothered me, I'd just numb out. But so it's pretty lonely, especially if you live in a rural area like me. There's not a lot of people around here that are into the woo-woo. And I am, I am, because I realize that it's all here and I don't want to be blind to it. But then, I have weeks like this week where I'm like, fuck. Man. Just every time I get just a sniff of bullshit, I just have this like physical revulsion. And it could be the smallest thing, and I'm like, I can't even be around it. It's just, and I probably don't have the bullshit meter cranked all the way up to 100. I probably don't. There's probably more work to be done there. There's probably more of that, rosy glass filter on my eyes towards people that needs to come down. But my heart wants to believe in the goodness in everybody and the ability that everybody has to change, because I have changed. I'm a completely different person. I've always been pretty nice and caring, but completely different person. I'm grateful for that. So I know that if I can go through the shit I went through and did the things that I did and come out on the other side, this person today, I know that anybody could do it. Most people, I'm not going to get into like the real evil entities out there, because there's some really evil, like bad. And that's another thing. You get your eyes open to oh my God, how much evil. Oh God, oh Lord. Man, the evil that resides on this planet and has been ruling and running this shit for as long as it has. Man, for the most part, I've been pretty accepting. Like, yeah, that checks out. I never felt good about that. Like, I may have grown up in the Catholic Church as a little one, but my mom never made me go as soon as I started saying I didn't want to go. I think I was 12 or 13 was when I started going, I don't want to do that anymore, and she was okay with it. So it's because she was forced to go, and she had no, I don't think, desire to do that. But like the religious stuff, because I was in it, I understand it from that aspect. It checks out that it's inverted. It completely checks out. Like the taxation on our country and the states, like, and the politicians, like, it checks out. That checks out. Like, I've never felt good about politicians ever. Just the way they walk, ugh. Like, I could see them being like reptiles underneath. That checks out. Yeah. But then then you get your eyes open to like the stuff about the little ones. Man, that I'm starting to shake already right now. I can't think too deeply about it. And not that I want to like forget about it, but I can't focus on it. I've had visions of things that I know to be true. And, man. So, you know, truth. I'm an Aries, and we're all about truth. And, you know, integrity, you know, the good parts of us. So we're in our light side, our good side. We're all about truth and integrity and honesty. Like, I would rather have an ugly honest than a beautiful lie any day of the week. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, any day of the week. Tell me an ugly truth. I'll have respect for you. I'll trust you. I'll even love you if you're trying to do a better, different thing. But wrap up a beautiful, gleaming, glittering lie and forget about it. No, my trust is gone. See you later. I don't want anything, especially if it's beautiful. Don't tell me anything beautiful, because anything that comes out of your mouth with charisma and ass kissiness, that's probably not a word. I don't want it. But yeah, so that's, you know, I've been pretty open my whole life, and I've always felt like there was something wrong. Always felt. For the most part, I thought I was the wrong one, right? Like, I thought I was not following everybody else's, you know, white picket fence, perfect idea of life. I thought I was wrong. But nothing, even when I was trying to be like the boxed in version of myself, it didn't feel right. Sorry, my cat's trying to undress me. She's literally burrowed into my sweater right now. She's fucking crazy. Oh, she knows spirits around right now. She's an astral traveler. She likes to travel with me every time I do some astral traveling. It's pretty cute. She's adorable. She's my little protector. Anyways, yeah, so while I want to know the truth over anything, it still fucking sucks. I mean, especially when you step back and take a look at it and see all of it, you know. Sometimes it gets so busy that, okay, that checks out, yeah, okay, yeah, I understand that. Sometimes I have these moments where I sit back and I look and I unpack things that I've learned. It just makes me sick. So anyways, darker side. It's not even dark. I mean, dark and light. Like, sometimes it's gray. It's all part of it, though, right? We gotta go through all of it, or we don't learn anything, right? If it was all rainbows and puppy dogs, we wouldn't learn anything. It wouldn't be Earth. It wouldn't be the hardest school in the universe, right? But man, did I pick a fucked up script. Sometimes I'm like, I like talk to my higher self, like, what the fuck did you let me do? What did we do? Why did we sign up for this? Like, there's no fucking way. I said, I want to experience this. Okay, yeah, this, that. What? But, you know, hey, it's all for a reason. It all has a purpose. I've learned a lot. I feel like I have a lot of wisdom. That's another thing, too. I don't know how many of you have had experienced the gray streakiness. My hair is dyed blonde because I am still a little bit vain. I can't, not that that's a hurdle you have to jump over, but, you know, the vanity, needing to feel pretty and look younger, I still haven't been like, fuck it, I don't care. I still care about my appearance. But I probably can't see it now, but right when I started really awakening, I think it was in 21 when I started to really open my eyes. You can't see it very well. Maybe you can, I'll have to look later. But I got these like strips of gray. I think it's fabulous. Like if I could figure out how to make those strips just pop out, I would, because I do think it looks kind of cool. Like it, I don't know. I feel like maybe that might be a symptom, because I've always heard that, you know, when people go through awakenings or they gain wisdom, they will like have this like mark, right? So anyways, this was a far longer, I said it was going to be short, and I'm a babbling fool. I'm going to definitely edit out some of this stuff. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. I hope that if you're just going through it, this process, or if you've been going through it for a while and you feel like nobody really talks about this, or maybe you feel like some of the stuff I brought up, you're the only one that goes through it. You're not. I mean, of course you know you're not, but it's always nice to hear somebody talk about it. Let's talk about some stuff. You know, and if you watch my videos, my other videos, I'm for the like I said before, 90% of me is complete like loving and, you know, warmth and and that's me. That's who I am. Like it's because I know the dark side of life. I've been through some really heavy shit, and I've done some, you know, I've never done anything physically wrong to people. Like I've never been evil, but I've seen evil, and I've been through some dark shit, and I'm lucky to be alive with some of the stuff I put myself through, or almost accidentally, you know. And I've seen darkness. I've stared darkness in the face. So that's why I'm such a loving, like, you know, Pollyanna, try to talk about love and happiness for the most part, and togetherness, because I'm proud. I am proud to have gone through the shit I went through and still want to love on people. Like man, I've had a gun to my head. I've been hooked on some heavy drugs. I've been homeless. I've been to jail. I've walked the streets of the Tenderloins in San Francisco, completely whacked out of my mind. In the middle of the fucking night, I probably should have been kidnapped or killed. Not probably should have, but, you know, it's a damn miracle I didn't. There's a whole story about San Francisco that I'll tell you all. I was godsmacked by a divine being in San Francisco because I was completely off course. A being had to show up in physical form to be like, look, bitch, fucking, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, he didn't say that at all, but at a different point, I'll tell you about this. But yeah, I've seen darkness. I've had been in darkness in my mind. So now when I am kind and loving and generous and will give, I give so much of myself to people, and I try to help people as much as I humanly possibly can. because I know what darkness looks like, and I know what dark me looks like, and I am proud to have come out on the other side, going through the things I went through. Some of the stuff I'd put myself through, and some of the stuff, let's face it, most of the stuff was done to me. And I take ownership, like, you know, I put myself in positions I shouldn't have, but they were all lessons I needed to learn. I am proud of myself for coming out on the other side the person I am so much. I'm so proud of the happiness and joy I still feel. I'm so proud of the fact that I can still be that happy, bubbly, bopsy blonde who just wants to smile and feel good. You know, now I know what the true definition of feeling good is. I was a little bit confused as to what feeling good meant before. So, if you see my other videos and you're like, why is she talking about this depressing shit? It's because I've been there and I've seen it, and I know what it's like, and I know how it feels, and I know how dark, and I know how lucky, incredibly lucky. Okay, one more thing and then I'm gonna go. I did not know this was a video. No one's probably gonna watch this. Nobody watches my long videos. It's fine. It's cool. It'll get to whoever it's supposed to get to. I had a little laugh with my spirit guides because having a toddler is like living with a drunk person. They're either a super happy drunk, a crazy drunk, or a mean as fuck drunk. Like I told somebody today, she's like a mean ass boss. She is my boss most of the time. She is, but she's so strong, and I don't ever have to worry about that girl getting pushed around. I don't, you know, and it's hard for me now, but I know that someday, man, she's not going to let anybody fuck with her. She's also a Scorpio, though, so, you know, that's double reason I know no one's going to fuck with her. But anyways, having a toddler is like living with a drunk person, you know, and you get all different kinds of drunk person. You get the happy drunk that, you know, just wants to play and jump around and dance with you. And then you get the crazy ass drunk who, you know, does these stunts where they're like, almost like, are you trying to fucking kill yourself? Like, are you trying to break a fucking leg on purpose? Mommy just told you don't. I mean, she does this thing. The hot stove will be on, will be cooking something. And she knows it's hot. She's 3 and she's very smart. Definitely an old soul, and sometimes I forget how young she is. I have to catch myself and be like, oh, that's right. Just because you can carry on like intelligent conversations with me doesn't mean you completely get it all the time. So I always have to like correct myself. Anyways, she knows it's hot, and I probably just got done telling her, you know, it's hot, don't touch it. She'd be like, here's the stove. Here's the hot stove right here, right? Be like, I'm gonna touch it, Mom. I'm gonna touch it. Oh my God. This girl constantly doing shit that, I mean, she's had falls that I would have definitely broken something on. So, anyway, sorry for the long babble. Man, this girl, I don't ever have to worry about her though. Like when she gets older, she's good. But anyways, the whole point of me saying this was I had a giggle with my spirit guides about, man, this girl, she just doesn't listen to the stuff I say. She doesn't ever pay attention. I tell her she's going to fall and hurt herself. She doesn't pay attention. She does it anyways, and she falls and hurts herself. And then it's like trying to keep someone from killing themselves, 100 times a day. And my spirit guides were like, oh yeah? Who does that sound like? Oh, that's how you guys feel. That's how you really felt when I was younger. Okay. I got it. Okay, great. Sorry. Okay, awesome. That must be how you felt, huh? Okay. Funny. it was funny because I did a lot of shit that I know I definitely had protection. Man, definitely protected. There were things I walked away from with very little. Man, I'll have to talk about some of these experiences or one of these experiences on a different video because I'm already creeping up on time. Let's just say that I definitely had an angel and guides surrounding me my entire life. Even before I was old enough to make big choices on my own. Like, I'll tell you some more about this later. But anyways, thanks for being here. If you're here, I hope more people watch this. Yeah, some of the darker shit that you don't really hear about. Not that much, anyways. And if it's out there, I don't really see it very much. So I just want to get on here and talk about it. It helps me to talk about it as well as it helps other people to hear it. So something else I learned in recovery. We help each other while also helping ourselves by helping each other. So anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day or night, whatever time of the day you see this. And know that if you're going through it right now and your senses are popping off and it's a little hard to handle, I'm quite sure it's pretty normal. And that it's just like anything. This too shall pass, right? This too shall pass. Doesn't always feel like this. Fortunately, the good stuff, for me anyways, fortunately, the good stuff outweighs the darker stuff, you know. It doesn't always feel like that. But through this awakening process, the good feelings are far more prevalent. Unless there's something that I haven't experienced yet that is like a long-lasting dark night of the soul. I mean, I didn't really go through a huge one because I went through several before this giant awakening. I went through a lot of initiations and dark nights of the soul before I realized that's what they were. Anyways, I love you. I hope this helps. I hope people watch it. If not, oh well. Have a good one. If you stop by and you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. It will help get my message out there. I have very little subscribers, followers now. That's okay. I'm just getting started. And we're all human. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, faux show. And sometimes it is hard to remember that we're not these light bodies floating around in this, atmosphere without any gravity. Sometimes I'm like, why the hell do I have to be on this dense place? But, I do. And why am I in this fucking body? Where the fuck did my wings go? No, seriously though, why am I not flying? Anyways, another topic for another day. We are spiritual beings having a human experience on this dense ass planet with these thick ass dense bodies going through the hardest school in the flippin' universe. And I do not believe that everyone can actually come here. I believe that only the strongest are allowed to come to this school. So remember that next time when you're feeling weak or sad. Remember, your soul is so flippin' strong. You made it to this school. It would be like if we want to talk about colleges, it would be like Yale or Harvard of the universe. If those things are even a legit thing. But if we want to weigh it out here, right? This is the... Anyways, remember that next time. You are in the Ivy Leagues of spiritual experiences. So, anyways, have a good one. I love you. Tell yourself you love yourself. Don't let the darkness get you down too much. Know that you can face it, because if I face the shit that I faced, you can face this awakening. Okay? Have a good one. Good night.